Welcome, everyone. It's nice to see a full house as we have more people coming in the door. So I welcome you all. We have many guests. Bob, do you know all of our guests?
I know some of them.
I would have liked to welcome, though.
Who's the guy in the back over
I
there?
know, we have our town administrator, Keith Bergman, here. And we have a selectman here, Joe Knox. And we have the friends here, and we have Tina, and we have Nicole, and we have Ann Espin, who is the head of Human Resources here. And we welcome Liz Tretiak, who we will be speaking to later on.
You didn't read it? Everything? Yeah.
Did you have something, Mary?
No.
Oh, thank you. So, welcome, everyone. And I would remind everyone, this is an open meeting, and we adhere to the open meeting law. I do believe Bob has determined the fact that we have a quorum. Do we have any announcements from the board members?
Just a correction.
Just
say
speak into the
that-
microphone,
oh.
please.
I just want to say that on our Christmas fair, we made $856, I believe, and we are giving $200 to the transportation and $200 to the tread.
Well, we didn't do it, the friends did it.
Well,
Yeah.
we collect the money, but we're giving it to them.
Well, right, it was the efforts of the Loving Stitches Knitting Group that,
But that's what I was,
right,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, so you get two.
I just didn't want, it. We don't make money, so we can't say we
no, I
did
did
it.
say, well, I
So-
meant, well, everyone knows that we did make the money and give it to, we don't keep the money, so.
I'm glad of that.
We're
Right,
proud
right.
of you.
But we'd also like to thank everyone that donated. You know, they knitted stuff for, for us to sell and everything.
Okay, you gave 200 to
Transportation
station.
and 200 to the tread. And the rest stays with the friends.
That money, Loving,
Their help, because they pay for the space that we have. They bring the tables in and everything, and Barbara decorates it nice and everything, so.
it is,
One for
Right.
Barbara.
it's really a joint effort, and that's really a
It
great
is.
example of a joint effort of a COA, and senior activity with the Friends. And several of us, on the board participate in that Loving Stitches Knitting Group. And so the Friends always has a table, and they sell the things at the town fair. And then the money, the Friends do make the control the money, and they do, actually, if the group suggests that the money be, allocated in a certain way, they're very grateful, and they vote to do so. So it's a great example of working together as a team. It really is. So thank you, Jean, for bringing that up. It's very appropriate. So I'm glad you did.
No problem.
No. I have one quick announcement, and that is just, I'd like to point out that there is an error in the size of the board in the article that's in the broadcaster, and I think I figured out why. Because in the course of it all, I discovered that our rules and regulations need to be updated. It still says there are 9 board members in our rules and regulations, and so we will be attending to that next month, for sure. But the board size is 11. It says there will be 11 board members. And there are 9 positions on the board. So we have to make that correction in our rules and regulations. So I just wanted to point that out to anybody that might read it. We can, I'm sure Nicole will be happy to publish a little correction next month when we do when the broadcaster comes out. But, and it's a very small point, but I didn't want people to be confused. So the board used to be 11, and it was deemed that it would be a more effective group at 9, and it was agreed upon by the powers that be, that the board membership be reduced from 11 to 9. Yes, Keith?
It was a request of the Council on Aging
That's right.
itself to reduce it to that number. We would never take it upon ourselves to do that without your okay.
That's true, thank you. So, it was a process.
Right.
To accomplish that, that's all. I guess that's what I was thinking about. so. All right, having said that, any other announcements? Then let's move on to accept the minutes of the December 11th meeting. And Mary, you have your hand up.
Well, it looks like they put down December 10th instead of 11th. And then on number 3 on announcements, they introduced Amy Gutner, and it's Jamie Gutner.
Oh, spelling, huh?
But she was correctly put other places that I could see.
That's just a little, probably typo. Did you get that, Bob?
Yeah.
2 corrections. The meeting was the 11th and not the 10th, so, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, can we
I move
have
the minutes be accepted as corrected.
second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
And we have no abstentions and no negative votes. So we're on a go, on the roll here. Thank you. All right, and our 4th item on the agenda regarding the director's position, we are going to move that down under 7A. So it'll be combined. All right? So moving right along, we're to the Friends Report. Come and join us.
Thank you, thank you. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Barbara.
Hello. There. All I want to say is that, first thing, you know, we've really started on kind of a roll with our luncheons, our luncheon programs, and we had quite a few people. I think it was 90-some-odd people come to our first luncheon, and they're signing up now fast. We're having a 50s party this coming Wednesday, which I hope that everybody here has signed up for. If not, you're kind of late, so run downstairs or talk to Jeannie and sign up. So we're going to have music by the California Dreamers, and we're having pizza from Bertucci's. It'll be pizza, salad, and dessert. So, you know, we're hoping that you wear your bobby socks and your jeans and bring a picture of yourself from the 1950s. And if you're too young, make one up. We don't care. So, and then the other thing is the February party is going to be on Valentine's Day. Look for posters and sign up as soon as you can for that. We've had to turn people away, which makes us feel terrible, but they either haven't signed up on time, right? Or we are booked. And we are getting almost 100 people, which this is what we're wanting. So, and I'd love to have 150 if we could, but we can't. So, but you have to sign up on time. I'm looking for volunteers to help at the thrift shop, even as a substitute. I mean, we need some people to help out, and this is where we make our money, so I want to make sure that we always have time covered. And some of our volunteers aren't able to do it, or they go away for the winter, whatever, so we need some substitutes to come in and help us out.
Excuse me, couldn't some of the tax work off people?
Perfect. It's fine. I mean, we don't turn anyone away, believe me. So, and eventually we want to have someone who'll take over as manager of it, because I love doing it, but been doing it for 20 years, and I'll be extra old next year, so I want to kind of, you know.
But you'll be around.
I'll be
still.
around.
Okay.
I am not going anyplace if I
All
can
right.
help it. But and I intend to work in the thrift shop. I just would like someone to do the heavy carrying now. And so far, everything's going pretty well, and we're working on all of our programs and more programs, not just lunches. We do a lot more than that. So right now, I'm going to have Nancy Levine tell you about some of the other projects that we have with our intergenerational.
I just have a question. Are there any costs for these 2 luncheons that you've just
No.
mentioned?
Thank you. Not yet. One of these days, we're going to charge to make a little extra money. I think St. Patrick's Day, maybe. I'm not sure. But,
It's always a nominal fee, though, when you do that. It's never very much.
Yeah, $5 mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Nancy?
She's on her way.
I want you all to know that Barbara's older than me. Happy New Year, all. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Before I came here, I stopped at the O'Neill Theater, and I got our first free 2 tickets to the theater. And the only restrictions are you cannot use it on Saturdays or holidays. Otherwise, you can use it anytime, any morning, noon, afternoon, evening. We have our first 2 free tickets.
How many did you get?
Just 2.
So who gets those? Or does each person get 2 tickets?
No. The Friends got 2 tickets that we will give as a door prize during
Okay.
our,
Another reason to come.
Oh, yeah. During our 50s party?
yes, exactly.
Ah.
And I heard from the Daisy Girl Scouts. I haven't met them yet, but I'm going to soon. They are just so cute. They're 5 years old. There are 12 of them. They're all in kindergarten, and they can't wait to do things for the seniors.
Oh, how sweet.
And what they're going to do for Valentine's Day is they're going to make little bags with treats and things like chapstick for the Meals on Wheels people.
Oh, how nice.
And if there is enough, they will also do it for the social club.
Nice.
That's very nice.
Good.
During December, I talked to you about the CCD classes. There wound up to be 2. We had so many bags of candy that I was, just touched. Meals on Wheels, the cafeteria, the little senior diner. I had extra, and for the first time, I gave it to the exercise club. They were shocked. They were shocked. They were seniors. They were, just exercising, and they weren't anyone in particular need, and they were just very, very happy.
That's nice.
3rd graders are continuing to do their stuff for us. And the Girl Scouts, the older Girl Scouts in the 5th grade, they're about 10 years old. They're working with me to do something special for them. They want to earn their bronze badge. And in order for them to get that badge, they have to do something meaningful that will last a while. So I am working with some people in my friends group to see what we can come up with. And I had some ideas today that Barbara doesn't even know about. I think that's about it. It's keeping me very busy. The Book Buddy program is starting up again in March. And it's been very busy and very rewarding, very.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you think about how that intergenerational program has just grown and grown and grown. It's really,
It is, and it's special, and it makes
It is
us
special.
all feel good.
it is, it's very special.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks to the Friends for doing that and spearheading that. It's really, it's good. It's a great thing. Okay. We have one quick item under old business, which should not take us very long, and that is going back to the subcommittee appointments that we did talk about our subcommittees and who was on which subcommittee and make appointments last month. And we have a couple more of appointments that I'm aware of, and I believe that Mary C. and Maureen both would like to join the Awareness Subcommittee. Is that correct? So I am appointing them to the Awareness Subcommittee, and that will help Mary Picard out a lot, because she's been the only one on that subcommittee. So, thank you both very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate it.
You're welcome.
That's a very exciting, and it's really one of our key missions as a board, is to educate the public. So it's a very important subcommittee. So, thank you. All right, moving on. I'd like to invite Ann Espen to come forward to the table where the microphone is so people can hear you.
Okay.
If you would.
Just sit here for a minute.
Ann is good.
It'll take me 2 seconds. So I wanted to bring Liz Trudiak here today as a recommendation from our preliminary screening committee that was established to review all your applicants for your EHS director position. So we received 20 applicants, or 20 applicants. We interviewed 4. We had identified 5. We actually ended up interviewing 4. And Liz was our first choice. And she's coming to you as a unanimous vote by the screening committee. She comes to you, I don't want to steal her thunder, I'll let her tell you about her background, but she does come to us with 10 years of experience in the field, extensive knowledge in EHS, excellent references, which I talked to personally. So I introduce Liz and let her come up and tell you a little bit about herself.
Thank you very much, Ann. And welcome, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's so nice to see you again.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So,
Pleasure to be here.
Just to give you a little bit of a heads up here, what we have done is the board members were asked if they had, would like to contribute questions to ask you.
Okay.
So we have only 5. So
Only
it's not
5.
going to be a drilling deal here, I hope.
Okay.
And, and then certainly you may have questions of us, and we welcome those. We would love to hear from you, and if you do have questions.
Okay.
So, I think the board members, you all have a copy in your packets, and they're numbered. The questions are numbered, and the person that, wanted the question asked is the one that's going to be asking it to you, but I just typed them up to make it easy for them. So I think, Jean, are you kicking that off?
Would you give us a summary of your work experiences and explain why you feel they have prepared you to manage the complexity of the Director of Elder and Humane, I don't think I said that wrong, but Services position in Littleton?
Sure. So I've spent the last 8 or 9 years of my career really focusing and dedicating all my time to making sure that elders age in place and stay in the community as long as possible, if that's what they choose to do. Doing so takes a lot of collaboration between different departments, different agencies, different community resources. So I feel totally prepared to take on this challenge. Helping elders age in place isn't just about elders, it's about their families, so it's about bringing together different departments and agencies to really work together to make that possible for everyone. I currently am supervising some very large, complex programs, including a supportive housing program, which we've had some interesting conversations about because we see the future of affordable housing here in Littleton as something that will be growing.
Very good.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Liz, I'm Maureen.
Excuse me for interrupting, but I realized I should have asked the board members to introduce themselves to you, I think. That would have been courtesy.
That's okay.
Being
great
courteous.
signs.
And so I can do that now. It might help, a little bit, but certainly I didn't mean to be rude. So can we take a second and do that? And Maureen just introduced herself a little, but why don't we go around the table and just introduce ourselves to you?
I'm Mary
Liz?
Pickard, I'm a board member.
Hi, Mary.
Mary Catalanato, the troublemaker.
Oh, okay. Patty, we've met.
Patty, we've met.
That's an, I'm the secretary.
And I've met you.
Yep.
Yes.
And I'm Jean Johnson.
Hi, Jean.
So, thank you.
Okay.
So now we can
So we'll
proceed.
go-
Now that Marge.
Hi, Liz, I'm Maureen.
Hi, Maureen.
So we're currently looking at the fact that the senior center needs more space. And how do you envision yourself helping to guide Littleton seniors as we look at how we would end up with more space that we can really use?
Interesting question. I think I'd have to really see what the needs are. Are we looking at just solely a senior center, or something more of like an intergenerational center? I would need a lot of guidance and input from the people who are currently here and utilizing the space. It's not a decision I could make on my own. So definitely getting all the input I can would be helpful.
Thank you.
Bob's next.
One of the big things that we've had is that our past directors have done a very good job of applying for grants and dealing with grant writing, and have gotten us a new van and some other things out of grants. Have you had any experience with that, and how do you see yourself as being involved?
Grant writing is something that is new to me, so I'll have to do some learning and potentially take a class on my own to learn more about that. But I have been involved in grants. I have been a participant in many grants throughout my career as being written into the grant, providing different services, but actually writing the grant on my own is something that would be new to me. So I would need to brush up my skills on that.
Fine.
Do you feel, as director of the Council on Aging, that you feel qualified and comfortable providing leadership to our outreach department, which serves Littleton elders as well as the other age groups? I wanted to add to that, we are also the only human resource department in Littleton, so that encumbers a big position. We are an advisory only. I hope you like to take advice.
I do, yes.
And I think your application is overwhelming, really.
Oh, in a good way, I hope.
Very nice.
I have to say, one of my favorite, I guess, parts of the job is on the macro side, not just the micro side, guiding the staff and the individuals underneath me. I currently oversee about seven or eight people, but underneath those individuals are about a total of 18 or 19 staff members, and providing that leadership, motivating people to do the best that they can, inspiring them to not just stay complacent, to go out and find new opportunities, that's definitely one of my favorite parts of the job.
I do hope you intend to stay a while, not use this as a stepping stone.
Oh, I think you can probably tell from my resume that I'm not a job hopper. I like to stay in one place. Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to ask the last question.
Surely.
You can't quite see you, but that's okay. So, as you know, and Mary just alluded to the fact that we are an advisory group. And the director of EHS works closely with the COA board. Our responsibilities are to technically identify the needs of the senior population, advocate for seniors, educate the community, and advocate for new board members when we have vacancies. The director must also work closely with the Friends of the COA. And that's a nonprofit group, as you've heard us talking about the fact that they are the moneymakers, and they do a lot of things. They do more than just fundraise, as you also heard about the intergenerational programs that they have started and built upon and expanded, and they do many, many, many things. So, and then, of course, the director has to interface effectively with staff and multiple town departments and agencies. So, I guess my question is, how would you anticipate approaching this task? It's kind of a daunting task in a way, to ensure positive and meaningful relationships are developed. How would you go about, I know you have to just anticipate, because you don't know until you're in the situation.
Right.
But what's your thinking along those lines?
So right now, I would consider everyone in this room the expert more than myself, so I would have to be learning learning a lot from everyone and relying on the expertise in this room of people who have been doing it far longer than I have here at Littleton. I have experience working with multiple departments, multiple agencies. That's the only way to get things done, to accomplish anything, is to come together as a community. You know, I'm a new mom, and I keep hearing the term, it takes a village to raise a child, but I think that's true for any vulnerable population, whether it be elders who are trying to stay in the community or disabled adults who are trying to access resources, families dealing with addictions. It really takes multiple departments, multiple people. It's not something I can do on my own. So really reaching out to everyone here in this room and beyond to help would be the way to go.
Thanks. Yes, Patty?
I don't really have a question.
Sure.
I more or less have a comment. I was on the original steering committee, so I more or less have a comment, which is why I didn't send in a question. Being part of the steering committee and having questioned the poor girl to death, basically, on 2 separate occasions, I would just like to compliment you on your first 2 interviews.
Oh, thank you.
I think we were quite, we questioned you quite hard on the first 2 interviews. We were not lenient by any stretch of the imagination. We were very hard in questioning, and I think you rose to the occasion.
Oh, thank you.
And that was not an easy task. And we did that for all 4 candidates. And to come out as the top candidate, it took a lot of work to do that. So I would just like to compliment her on being able to come in front of this board and still be questioned again. That takes a lot of courage.
Oh,
and I
well,
just want to
thank you.
compliment you on that.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And Bob?
Yeah, I have a very practical question. Just having seen your resume
Sure.
at 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
Your official legal name is Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay, because you sign everything Liz. That's what I...
Okay. Is that something I'll need to change?
And your email doesn't say your last name, it says somebody else's last name.
Oh, it's my maiden name.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
figured, okay.
Elizabeth Toll.
Okay, fine, but as secretary, I need to know who I'm writing about.
Yep. I'll answer to Elizabeth or Liz.
Yes, Jamie?
I would like to say, it was a compliment to me to be able to sit in on the second interview, and I am a board member for a similar type of organization to what Liz works at now, and I know what kind of job that is. I also think that Liz has, not only did she answer the questions beautifully in the interview I sat in, but also today. I mean, these are things that it's hard sometimes to know because you're not in the culture, you're not in the environment. What I do know is, just from my perspective, is that Liz has incredible transferable skills in elder service and human service. The stuff she needs to learn, this is coming from me, who was in that position, Liz, where I walked into a municipality. I had worked under a grant many, many years prior to that, but learning to function in the municipality took a little time, but that's, like with anything, it's learnable if you want to. Building a building is learnable if you want to, because I know that. But just for those of you that, with respect to all of you who have been on the board and worked with a director and worked in a municipality, Liz has a very impressive resume. And I appreciate, for my position, that you took the time to apply for this.
Well, thank you very much to everyone.
Do you have questions for us?
No, not at this time.
You got your questions out too, I bet, by now.
Now that you've met us, are you still sure?
Yes, Anne has been very helpful answering all my questions.
Oh, I'm sure she
on
has.
the phone, yes.
She's a great resource.
Definitely.
Yes.
Madam Chair, I would move that the board endorse the approval of Elizabeth for the board, to the Board of Selectmen.
To the town administrator. I believe that we are making the recommendation to Keith, so maybe to,
Yeah, just to clarify, the appointment of the Elder and Human Services Director is by the town administrator with the approval of both the Council on Aging and the Board of Selectmen. So if you want to vote to approve the appointment, you could do that, and the Selectmen will be asked to do that at their next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, then I would move to endorse the approval of Elizabeth to the Town Administrator and the Board of Selectmen.
Second the motion.
What, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No abstentions? And no negative votes. I think that's unanimous. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
You're not in yet, but you
Maybe not too many more questions.
Okay.
Anthony, do you have anything you'd like
No,
to
you know, I
add?
just-
Sitting quietly here for you today. So,
Geez, thanks. I want to take the opportunity to thank Ann and the board that sat through all the interviews. This process started really in November. And Marge, yourself, Mary Hunt, and Mary Picard. Also, we had 3 non-voting members that really were an integral part of the process. It's Kathy Shelp, who's the COA Director for the town of Groton. Alicia Day is our Park and Rec and Community Education Director here in Littleton. And as well as Jamie, who, like she said, sat in on the second interview and really was my confidant during the whole thing. It was. We're very fortunate to have Jamie coming from the town of Needham. That's she had a wealth of knowledge. So, Jamie, thank you. And
Thank you.
you're not off the hook yet. You have some time to go. We want to make sure we have that good overlap.
well, that's encouraging too, I think, for Liz. to-
Definitely.
Yes, there might be somebody there to, yeah, it is a process.
And
Definitely
could-
will be.
Could I thank Anthony in particular, because for the leadership role that he played in pulling this all together, I appreciate that very much.
So do we. So, actually, if you think about it, it's been a very nice process, though, and very, very enjoyable, actually, to participate in. At least from speaking for myself, I think it was, so.
And before we know it, Anthony will have all this free time.
I'm looking forward to that.
No, now Anthony knows more about health and human services, elder and
That's
human
right.
services, so.
I'm thinking of becoming an EHS director myself.
Can I just say one other thing, Mark?
Certainly.
I think the staff has done a great job of holding everything together.
Yeah.
And I really, and all of you have been very welcoming of me, but I do. I think that the staff has done, and all of you, it's not easy to be without a director and to be one staff member shy when you have a small staff. I've been there, I know. So I really would like to thank Nicole and Tina for just really just doing a great job. I really mean it,
Okay, good point, thanks, Jim,
Yes,
for bringing that up.
it is true. They stepped right up to the plate,
right up.
so.
Did a great job answering a lot of my emails.
And mine.
And,
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
And again, so glad to see you here today, so. All right. Are there any other questions or anything else for Liz? Well, she's here.
I was curious, when does she start work?
It has to be approved by the selectmen.
She hasn't been approved yet.
She has to
We
be,
have Jamie here.
no, she has
Still
to
has
be,
to be
a-
approved by the Board of Selectmen and by the Town Administrator. and
She has to
appointed
accept
as well.
February, like,
Yeah, exactly.
probably.
she has, yes, she has to want to come still.
Be like,
So, well,
We'll give you a date soon.
they'll figure that out, the powers that be. So. All right, moving on. We have another wonderful thing happening here. We have some donations to accept. And I am not knowledgeable about all of these sources, I must be honest. But we have a donation from the Cooper Fund. That one I'm knowledgeable about. I have, knew Mr. Cooper himself and am aware and much more knowledgeable about that. But the Henry Vincent Cooper Foundation sent us a letter saying that they have awarded the Council on Aging Assistance Program $7,500. Wow. For this year. And so, we need to vote to accept these funds. It is designated, so there's no question about where it would go, but we just need to vote to accept the money.
I move that we accept the money.
From the
Coo-
Cooper
from the
Fund. We have
Cooper
three, but we'll do it one at a time to make sure it's clear. All right, so you are moving?
I move
to-
that we accept the $7,500 from the Vincent Cooper Fund.
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. No abstentions and no opposition. All right, and the second one is also a letter saying that we have, the Burroughs Foundation has completed its review of pending donation requests and has voted the second round of donations for 2017. And they have awarded the Council on Aging Energy Assistance Program also $1,000.
Very good.
So I think that's wonderful. We have $8,500 for the Energy Assistance Program that's certainly needed now,
These are
this
for the
year.
Energy Assistance Program.
Pardon, yes.
I move that we accept $1,000 from the Borough Foundation.
I second.
For the Energy Assistance Program. All those in favor? Aye. A unanimous vote, Bob. And the third comes from an individual
I move, yeah, exactly.
to the Council on Aging, and the note says, enclosed, please find a donation for the Transportation Fund.
Nice.
And this is from Kathleen Cole in the amount of $500.
Thank you.
And certainly the Transportation
What's her
Fund
first
can
name?
use that money.
What's her first name?
Kathleen.
I move that we accept the $500 from the Kathleen Cole for the Transportation
Fund.
Fund.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, abstentions none, unanimous vote again. Wonderful. We're moving right along here today, and that was a wonderful thing to have to do. It's just great.
That's $9,000.
So we love it. And thank you to all of those, the two foundations and Kathleen Cole. It is certainly appreciated, and both programs really can use the money, so. And moving on, we have an applicant for our one vacant position on the board. And David Sill has been attending our meetings for the past couple of months. We welcome you. Would you like to come to the table?
Hi there.
Hi there.
Hello.
I think
Happy New Year.
most of you recognize David, right? So, and we, as you know, you've been here when we've gone through this process. We have a few questions to ask you
Sure.
about, being on the board. So if the group would like to start, Maureen, you want to start down at your end and go around?
Sure. Let me find the questions. I'll be great. Here we go. So, board members are appointed by the selectmen. Therefore, each board member is considered an employee of the town. The responsibility brings with it an obligation to adhere to various laws, as well as take training at various times, and being on TV for the monthly board meetings. Do you anticipate any difficulty adhering to these requirements?
None at all. None at all. Marjorie was very, very kind to send me a description of the duties that are
The
meant
job
for
description for a board
job
member.
description. So I've read those, and I'm acquainted with them, and none of that is a problem, including being on TV.
Well, we all love that part.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
How will your skill set enhance the COA board?
Well, I'm used to working in a setting with other people. Okay, I do that in my job every day, and I'm on another board or two, and I'm used to working in a group. So that pretty much covers my skill set.
Okay. Thank you.
Working how? Working what?
Well, I'm on, for instance, I'm on the cable committee. All right,
Okay.
Littleton Cable.
All right, thank you. You answered her question. Thank you. Number 3, When faced with disagreements and contentious situations, how do you handle them?
Well, I don't like confrontations.
No.
Oh, you're on the wrong board.
I keep it moving.
I think it's good if everybody can just, you work to keep things on a level basis. If somebody begins to get upset with something, then you just try to keep it level, okay? And it seems to work. So I don't like confrontations, and that's how I deal with it, is just be peaceable and not antagonize and not try to light things up even hotter than they are.
Sounds like you have social skills, in other words.
Well,
that
some
you're
anyway.
able to communicate.
I was able to be in the same class with her all through high school, so
Oh, is that good or bad?
it was good. It was good.
You're that old?
Yeah, well,
Or that young,
yeah, or that young.
or that young.
Yes, that's true.
What was your job, or what is your job?
Okay, I'm a retired truck driver, okay? I was a truck driver for around 40 years, okay? I retired when I was 62, a long time ago, 8 years ago, okay? And that's what my job was. I'm also a part-time worker up at Acton Toyota. Okay, I just for something to do, I move cars around and I work there 3 or 4 days a week. So, and I have a very understanding supervisor who lets me come here on Mondays at 1:30.
Oh, nice.
Do you have any thoughts of what you would bring to the table that would help us with our senior population in town? I mean, you just alluded to the fact that you're entering the senior population. So do you have any ideas or thoughts that would help our senior population in town, and how and in what capacity?
Well, I've watched and listened over the last 4, 5, or 6 years at least, okay, to the need of seniors to have a place of their own,
A place to,
a senior center,
oh, okay.
okay? And I'm quite interested in that. And on a personal note, as my mother grew older, okay, and I watched that process happen, okay, and watched changes, I got concerned and interested in how I was going to handle that, and my brother was going to handle that. And my mother was not a joiner. She was kind of a loner, okay, and always was, and was happy with that. But as she got older, and maybe her memory started to fail a bit, my brother and I got concerned that she really needed to get out and do things, okay, rather than just sit in front of the TV and that. And we explored everything that we could find. And she lived in Harvard, okay, so she couldn't take advantage of anything that was here. But the COA in Harvard, okay, was very, very helpful in helping her take advantage of everything that they had. And they got her into they introduced us to a program that's run in Worcester County that my mother was eligible for. And she fought and fought. I don't want to go to that. I don't want to go to that. Well, just try 2 days a week, okay? And before you know it, she was asking for another day. I want to go now. I want to go there. So it was a great thing. And all I want to do is be able to help with that in Littleton. And I'm sure, I mean, I see what goes on here, and it's so well organized already. But if I can contribute in any way, that's what I would like to do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Have we agreed that questions 5 and 6 have been answered? That you just did?
Yep.
Okay, then question 7 is, What are your feelings regarding visibility and presence as a board member at various senior events, town meetings, board meetings, such as the Selectmen, the Finance Committee, and so forth?
Oh, I think that everybody here would be behooved to put themselves out in public settings and even privately in the building. It's, you know, at town meetings and all, and in the building, I would say, just getting to know the other people that work in the building, and sometimes it's amazing the information that you can find out, and things, you know, somebody will come along and say, well, you know, so-and-so, and, you know, all of a sudden you're going, oh, that brings me, you know, it brings me an idea, okay? So it's good to just be open with everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, David. Thank you. Do you have questions for us?
Only one, okay, and I hesitate to bring it up. I was, you know, just interested in finding out everything that I could about COA, how it works and all that. And I thought, what better way than to go back and look at the minutes from some of the last meetings? And so I did, okay, and I've looked everywhere, and I can find meetings for 2014, 15, and 16, but none for 2017. They're not posted.
Should be on the board, should be on the town website.
Not posted?
So, no, they're not. So I thought that maybe that's because of the new website coming in, maybe they're just not there
Maybe
yet.
we'll figure that out, though, and fix
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
I
I'm
thought
glad
it
you
would-
mentioned it.
It would be, you know,
Check on that?
Anthony's doing it.
They've all been posted, so, well, they should have been posted.
I don't know. We can look into that. They should be, because 17, that's a whole year now.
yeah, the last meeting I could find was December
Give me your email, I'll
2016.
send you copies of all the minutes.
Oh, that's all right. No, if
Really?
they're there, somebody show me how to find them, because I.
No, I'm sure you're quite knowledgeable about how to navigate to get them, that's for sure.
We'll make sure.
We'll figure that out, though, and that's something that. There isn't.
14, 15, 16.
We'll find out. And thank you for bringing it to our attention. I
No-
don't know
no
why I
problem.
had
If you have any questions, go see our outreach department. They're wonderful. They'll help
Just-
you. Right. They'll help you.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any other questions? If you don't have any others, anything else for us? Any other words of wisdom like that? That was a great thing to let us know about. So, thank
Right.
you.
I'm sure Bob would love you on the board.
Yes.
I didn't say that.
Women.
I did not hint that I was the only male. I never said that.
But I'm sure you'd love a fellow colleague with you.
I would move that we endorse the candidate to the Board of Selectmen for appointment to the board.
Second motion.
All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Hand raised? No, I see another unanimous vote today. We're moving along very well, and welcome to the board.
Well, thank you.
We will.
Ann Lee has
and-
not been before the board yet. right?
No, that will. No. And actually, what will be happening, let me just, since Ann Lee is here too, I'm glad you're here, Ann Lee. We have a manual, you heard me reference it earlier when I was talking about the fact that the size of the board and our rules and regulations is not accurate, we need to fix that, but our manuals, it's a 3-ring binder, and we do have, this is where the job descriptions are, the rules and regulations, the memorandum of agreement with the Board of Selectmen, et cetera. I will be getting a copy to both of you to give you time to be able to go through it. It has the privacy law, you know, the open meeting law, things of that nature that you need to be aware of as a board member. So I'll be getting in touch with you and be delivering a 3-ring binder to you both, which will help you, you know, I'll try to get it out probably this week, toward the end of the week, if I can manage to do that and get it to you.
Thank you.
So
Is there-
that's, helps you become a little bit familiar while you're, you know, I don't know when they select who will be dealing with this, but probably in a couple, 2 or 3 weeks.
Maybe he'll change his mind.
That's what
I
I
don't know,
was,
he's been coming to our meetings even, he's been a faithful participant in our meetings, so.
that's what I was going to ask. Do we know when the next selectmen's meeting is?
22nd. There's one tonight, but obviously you can't get on tonight, so the 22nd.
22nd.
Module should be an email just recommending those two, and we'll get that on the
Yep.
agenda for the 22nd.
So if both of you can be available, and I usually
Elizabeth?
attend those meetings also with you.
22nd.
22nd, yep.
Okay.
Oh, all right, no.
And that's probably when you both will meet with them, so if that's okay. It's a Monday night.
Yeah, Anthony will let, you know, confirm that with me, but, and let them, usually
Which
a
one?
message goes out to the individuals anyway, you'll get an email saying, from somebody, saying that you need to be at the selectmen's meeting that day, if you're on the agenda, so. All right. Do we have any other, yes, Patty?
Is there any, this is for Anthony, is there any information on the space issue?
Space need study is also expected to be presented to the selectmen on January 22nd.
22nd, so we won't know anything. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's
Just
good
don't
know.
want to plan a subcommittee meeting unless we have any information
Right.
on the space issue.
Just for general information, I will be requesting the membership subcommittee get together to take a look at the rules and regs and make sure we don't need to make other corrections, and then we'll bring that recommendation back to to you, the board, at the next, in our February meeting. So we get our rules and regulations correctly. So members of the membership subcommittee can expect that coming up. It's good to have a new year come, because then you take a look at things sometimes, you know, and then you realize, oh, look at that. So, okay. Well, again, welcome, both of you, again, to you, Ann Lee, too. So. All right, we have some reports. Bob has a copy of the budget reports himself, but we did not get it in time to get it in your packet.
No, I don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it?
I
Sorry.
finally, at 12:45 this afternoon, received the two things I needed to do it, and I will do it the next day or two.
Oh,
And
thank
then
you.
we'll electronically get out to everybody the two budget reports,
I misunderstood what you said to me.
and I'll get you the numbers for the...
Okay, so we essentially are tabling the budget reports. And I've invited Jamie to at least give us a little update. She's been here for, I've lost track of time, but how many weeks? 6 weeks?
Forever.
All, but it feels,
Forever.
you feel like, you know, you're not new. So but it hasn't been that long, really, when you think about it.
December 4th was my first,
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
but you all have made me feel very welcome. I think in your packet, we received wonderful information from Minuteman about some, when you go home, take a look at some of these numbers of what they have done to support our residents. It's always very interesting to see quantification of some things. And I'm actually working on some stuff for Anthony, hopefully that'll help him about rides for FY17, which I think I can forward to him. If I had been here longer, and what you will get from your director next year is more quantification about what the year of FY18, which we're in, looked like. It's just hard when you're walking in to kind of figure out even where to get the info for you. But I will, as I find them, you will get them. It has been a very busy month.
Just for your information,
Yes.
you know that Jean works on the Minuteman.
She's our representative to
I'm-
Minuteman, Jean
So
is.
she does
I didn't
provide us
know
with
that
some
about you,
information.
Jean.
She goes
Great to hear.
once a month, she goes to the
Great.
meetings.
Good. It has been a very busy month, and we have gone through, let's see, 4 applicants for van driver positions, which we need to fill desperately. I've passed along a complete packet to Ann. It's not easy to get references, to connect with references this time of year. I'm working on another one that I've gotten the references, and we're working on the other 2. I was invited to the Friends meeting, which was very nice of them, and we had a chat. There were some changes, corrections they wanted to make to the newsletter, which we will do, that Nicole has done a great job with. The formula grant budget has been completed, signed, and went into the state. And on Friday, Anthony, I received back from Emmett our contract, which I'll bring up and it'll get signed. I don't know how it happens in Littleton, but usually what happens is you get either two chunks or one chunk of whatever the formula grant for your town is. We go on faith that we're getting that money, meaning COAs. It's traditionally accounting departments often scratch their heads and go, oh my goodness, where's the money? But it comes. It's just how the state does it. So Anthony and I made sure that budget was done and it's in, and the contract, as I said, arrived at the end of the day on Friday, so I'll get it to Anthony.
Great, and those funds are gonna allow us to hire a part-time administrative assistant, working with the director and the staff, which is gonna take a lot of
Should be
burden
great.
off of them, so it's something that we're excited about, that we got the funding.
And we are, the staff and I, along with some wonderful volunteers, are looking at firming up some, putting in writing some policies and procedures that we all know about, but it may not be written somewhere. So we're working on that as well. And we will, we're marching right into January. So as I said, it's been busy, and again, I appreciate the support of not only the board and the Friends and Anthony and the staff to make sure that we to get the things done that we need to.
Could I comment? That passing comment just added another part-time person to our staff if it happens. Now, we make the decision on what the formula grant is used for, but if that is the case, we've done very well in the last year or two in terms of being appropriately, not over, but appropriately staffed for the first time in a long, long time. That's great.
And I would say to you all, and one of the things I've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out, and again with the staff's help and with Anthony, is the whole transportation issue. And transportation in any town is very time-consuming, very cumbersome, and I'm just trying to figure out, your town does it differently than what I'm used to. Mart has been very great about having conversations with me when I figure out the questions I want to ask, as has Crosstown Connect. But it's a big job, and I'm looking at what we might be able to do. I say we, what you guys can do that I might recommend as you march forward, because it's a big job and a lot of work for your staff, and it takes a lot of time away from other things that people do. So
I don't know whether you realize it or not, but a while back, there was a transportation development program which Keith was involved with, which is supposedly going to take that entire thing out of our hands and put it as a part of a whole intertown. I can't remember.
Cross Connect? Are you talking about Crosstown
Yeah.
Connect?
Crosspoint is going to actually remove it from our jurisdiction eventually. At least that was the plan that we were looking forward to. So yeah, that may be a big help.
yeah, I wasn't aware of that, Bob. I know Crosstown Connect and what their current.
Within the town, this was going on. I don't know where it was going to be put, but
Yeah, and I wasn't aware of that next step, but that might be wonderful.
might be helpful.
I mean, I don't know because I haven't seen the plan, but.
Sounds to me like she's been very busy.
It's being a COA director is
It's
or an
interesting.
EA
She's done yeah.
How often are you here, Jamie? You're part-time.
You know what, it depends on the week, Bob. I originally had said, I can't possibly be here more than 2 days a week, but I have managed to be here 3 and sometimes more. You guys have been very generous about allowing me to work from home, and I actually get a lot done, because what happens is, I'm not interrupted, and I don't mean that as a criticism. I have an open door policy, and I believe in that.
Every director we've had has said the same thing.
Yeah, no, I really, I believe in it. This week, because of the holidays, I think I've managed to be here. I was in the next day. This week's a little off because I do have personal a wonderful personal thing in my life. I just had a new grandchild, and so I will be.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and I will be going to North Carolina at the end of the week, so I'll probably be on-site. Anthony and I haven't had a conversation about this yet, but hopefully on-site 2 days this week and 2 days available by phone. I mean, he knows he can reach me even when I'm away. And then next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So what I've tried to do, Bob, is be on-site at least 3 days a week.
That's good.
I am very impressed also with the Minuteman report that you've passed out for last year. They do a good job for the $2,500 dues that we pay a year. They exceed that. We couldn't afford all the services that they provide.
Well, this is an agency the kind of agency that Liz comes from and the board that I sit on, and they are called Aging Service Access Points in Massachusetts, and they do a phenomenal job
Yes.
with not a lot of money and interesting ways that Executive Office of Elder Affairs handles budgets, right?
So you'll know how to squeeze a lot more things out of them, right?
She knows how to work.
On the other side now.
Yeah, she knows how to be creative.
It's very exciting, actually, and, it's over, to me, it's sometimes mind-boggling when you look at the, statement on this handout about that in fiscal year 17, 1,076 Littleton residents used services, Minuteman services valued at $967,000 and 370, but
Of course, that includes our lunch program.
it does. And it's wonderful that we have it, so it's
We
just
couldn't
really.
afford it otherwise.
No, I know, it's just, wonderful, so. Thank you. I did see, Maureen, do you have a question? I saw when we were talking about the formula grant. I didn't know whether you had a question about that.
I don't know what the formula grant
I thought-
study is, and I don't know what the Crosstown Connect is. So I wrote them down so that I could ask questions. I'm new on the board, so it's like trying to learn. So new language. Yes,
Would you like me to answer that, Maureen?
that would be great.
Okay, so the formula grant is a state grant that's a per capita that you have to apply for, and they use, unfortunately, 2010 census throughout the state, and then they redo it, I think, 2020, and you're stuck with what you're stuck with. So when we get around to 2020, we got to make sure all our Littleton residents, make sure they fill out those forms so that they're counted. It depends on the year. This year, I think it was $9.70 per head. You apply for it, and there are guidelines for it, but the guidelines are broad. And you submit a budget. Each town uses the money in a different way and uses the guidelines to determine. In the past, it's been used, I believe, in Littleton to supplement outreach funds. The town has taken over those line items, and so this year, Anthony had come up with a wonderful suggestion to kind of use those funds to supplement some additional help. An administrative person, which would be great for you, I think, great for you all. Crosstown,
In actuality, we were paying a portion of 10 hours of Tina's salary for a long while before the town took over the entire cost.
Right.
So when she was by herself, she was getting 20 hours from the town and 30 hours from the town and
10 from
8
the
hours
form-
from the formula grant and 2 hours from the Friends, which has
Yeah.
all now been wiped out because she's getting the full 40 hours and she's got Nicole too. So
Yippee.
that's what I said. We've done very well in the last couple of
Yeah.
years, God bless us.
Yeah.
and Crosstown Connect
Thanks, Joe.
is a transportation, a thorough, and I can show you information if you want to stop by sometime. I had learned about them in another part of my life, but recently. And for you, what they do is they help with the dispatch of the vans. And what Bob was saying is there had been, I guess, discussion in the town of them taking it out of our hands and doing all of, overseeing our van drivers in the vans.
That first step was to put the dispatchers regionally, so that the dispatchers no longer are paid by us. We have a part of our budget of $10,000, which goes towards it. Maybe it's 15, I'm not sure. But in any case, where we used to pay it ourselves and paid that it dispatches on our own, it's now, they dispatch for us, for Acton, for a group of things. But they're also looking at the possibility of doing it even wider than that and doing town transportation or regional transportation, which may mean setting up a department on its own. And that was what I was talking about, so. And that was what Keith's,
Keith's been very involved in that.
he's been on that committee for years.
See, it's always an opportunity to learn, so, and that's good.
Exactly.
So, I thought I saw you kind of like,
We might set up a subcommittee for you to go on for that.
there you go. Oh, thank you, Jamie. That was very informative, and very helpful. Thank you very much. Tina, would you, or Nicole, or however you want to do it, would you like to come up to the table?
Yes.
Nicole.
Just a minute, I'll
Come.
join you in a second.
Okay.
So Tina will go over
Rush your
the numbers, I know. But I have things that have been going on in January. We're still working on fuel assistance applications. We've had quite a few new Littleton residents that we've been meeting with.
That's okay.
Okay. We have on the 26th, we have Radiant Healthcare is doing a part 1 of a 4-part series on preventing hospitalizations. So that starts this month. We have chair massages twice this month. The podiatry clinic is on the 16th. In February, we have Bob Shapiro's quartet. They're going to perform for us on the 27th. And the Littleton Business Association, Neshoba Valley Hospital, and River Court from Groton are putting together a presentation on heart health. They're going to do a food demonstration and have a panel. February is Heart Month, so that's what we have so far.
What's the date for that?
That is the 15th of February.
February?
Yep,
Oh,
it's going to be
same day as
3 to
the-
5.
Oh, no, the 14th is Valentine's Day, right?
Yep.
Day after.
Is that going to be here?
That's going to be here. Yep, it's going to be in the senior diner.
Do you have a time?
It's 3 to 5. Mm-hmm. That's what we have so far.
That's a great start. Wow.
I understand you're going to be down at St. Anne's on the 17th?
Oh, yes, St. Anne Sodality has invited us to the
Right.
January 17th evening
I
meeting.
understand that. Yeah, that's nice.
So just as David said, see, the outreach workers get out in the community too, right? You always get out there.
We've had Badger there one time, too. Maybe we should ask him for that facility again.
Anything else?
No, we do have the caregiver support group meeting at the end of the month in January, and right at home, Margaret Paris will be our host and speaker. If you know anyone with caregiving issues, please have them contact us so they can join the group. It's a very helpful, supportive group, and we can have more members are welcome, so, and they can be from surrounding towns. So.
Thank you.
And I have to, if it's okay, but I'm going to say it anyway. Jamie, let me know, was complimenting you, about how you're so wonderful, both of you, getting your statistics done because you did you not?
I did.
Yes,
I did. It's
because
not easy.
it's quite, we don't stop to think about that, but that's another part of the job, and it's important. Hard to get it done, but an important piece of the job, so congratulations, gals.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job.
What was the subject of the panel presentation?
Heart health. Heart health. February is National Heart Month.
H-E-A-R-T, H-E-A-L.
Yep.
All right. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
So I have a motion to accept the reports.
I move, we accept the reports.
All those in-
Second.
Thank you, Mary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Before we close, I'd like to just ask Joe if you have anything you would like to say. I haven't invited you to the table, but it's wonderful to see you here.
I'm glad to be here. I'm sorry I missed the last two, but something called work gets in the way.
Oh,
I never
gee.
make it. I just want to congratulate Liz and two new members that I've known for a long time, and I wait to question you at the next meeting.
Well, we love having Joe attend our meetings, so.
When he says he's happy, that's a good sign.
That is a good
He's the
sign.
Board, he's the Board of Selectmen.
And I know that Mary mentioned the space study. The board, the selectmen is extremely interested to get this report back.
I think we are, we finally got our space subcommittee kind of put together again. It was kind of deactivated there for a while. So they're kind of waiting to decide how they're going, I guess, to proceed, so.
So are we.
It'll be good. All right. Any other business to come before the board? Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn.
All those in favor?
Second.
Oh, thank you, Mary. You keep me honest. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, friends.
Maureen and I.